My Stewart impression.
And Aron has to even be like do the Saru during the opening.
Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 5.2, part 2 of our 5th episode of the Alpha Quadrant. My name is Garrett Wang, also known as Ensign Harry Kim from Star Trek Voyager. We have my co-host, Mr. Aron Eisenberg. You would know him as Nog from Deep Space Nine. Our producer, EvelDick, Season 8 Big Brother winner, and our esteemed guest, Mr. Robert Duncan McNeill, aka Robbie, also known as Mr. Tom Paris, or Lieutenant Tom Paris from Star Trek Voyager.
He got promoted?
I was demoted, then I was premoted. Yeah.
It's more than what Garrett got, so.
It is, but it's a slap in the face because Tom Paris, we find him in the penal colony, so he's not even in Starfleet.
You said penal. You said penal.
I did say penal.
You said it a lot, like 20 times.
Yeah. Why do you say penal so much?
Okay, Robbie, you were in the penis colony, and basically you weren't in Starfleet, but yet you still got promoted, which is kind of, a conundrum. So
It is a conundrum.
yeah. But
It's
now,
a penal conundrum, really.
It's the store point for Garrett. He brings it up every show.
Listen, Robbie, you haven't acted in when's the last time you acted? What year was it?
2001.
Oh my God.
Same here. Either of us.
It's been 17 years. 17 years. But you've been busy.
You know what? I take that back. I did a little cameo.
Oh.
I played a SWAT member, like a SWAT leader on the Chuck finale.
Oh.
I had 2 lines, but it was 5 seasons of that show that I had produced and directed on, and everybody wanted me to do a little something. And so I did the finale of that. I think that's it.
Oh, sweet. Okay. But that was not, there was no, you had no dialogue though, right? You were
I had a few lines. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Did you remember him that day?
But we do have some
Probably
of
not.
his very early work.
Do you?
Should we take a look at
Yeah,
this?
let's take a look at what you got. I'm curious.
What?
It's not from the Spice Channel, right?
Is it classic Shakespeare? What is it?
It's,
I don't know.
it's classic Robbie, man.
It's Saved by the Bell.
Let's see.
That was after my early days.
Bite into a Starburst and hold on to your taste buds. It's the wildest orange. Strawberry. Lemon. And wildest cherry taste. Starburst. It's a burst of refreshing fruit flavor. Naturally and artificially flavored.
This is like a progression of your career. Oh, look,
Here's the big deal
my
now.
children.
Did you watch where you're going, Brent? But I'm sorry, all right? I just want to get by. You mind? You know, you are really getting on my nerves, and you're not even here full time yet. Look, what's your problem, huh? You have the problem, pal. Football season is over, which means I don't have to be a nice guy anymore. I can take care of wimps like you and not worry about getting benched. But you got something on your mind. Why don't you just spill it, all right? Yeah, I'm going to wipe that smug look right off your face. Is that clear enough for you? Why don't you guys go play with your pigskin, huh? Hey, you got something against football?
And then we had to get the Voyager one in there.
Okay.
I can't.
Something tells me we better hurry.
Put him out of his misery.
I believe the answer lies in...
Wait, where were you in that scene? I only saw.
ED, you were supposed to get the clip of the 2 lizards and the baby lizards going into the marsh.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't take the direction well.
Let's go to the first.
I thought the Elephant Man scene. Please let me go.
Okay, fine.
That's what I was doing. I'm glad you recognized it.
And it was because of that performance he decided,
I am not an animal.
Exactly.
I don't need to act anymore. I'm done.
Okay,
Yeah.
the Starburst
highlight.
Robbie, with the hat getting tossed off, was that like a fishing wire that was on there and they just yanked it? Is that how that happened?
No, I think they had like I vaguely remember I was probably, I was gonna make a drug joke, but I didn't. It didn't. It was the 80s, everybody was doing it. Anyway.
I did not. Just saying.
No?
No.
Okay. The hat, I think they blew it off with like a big, like one of those cannon blaster things.
Oh, right. So just a shot of air. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to say that it was actually the taste of the Starburst and actually like magically blew it off.
The cherry flavor. It does it to me all the time.
Right? It happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you film that in New York?
Yeah, we filmed it in New York back in the 80s. I can't remember when that was. Boy, that's going back.
I want a date, man. This is not good enough. I want a date, time,
Right?
for filmed, who those girls were, where they are now.
Yes.
Where they
Speaking
are
of
now.
dates,
Show next week.
did you date those 2 girls?
No, I did not.
Dang it.
Was this your first big commercial?
No, my first commercial was it was a tuxedo commercial. It was like prom season. It was a seasonal ad for tuxedo rentals.
Yeah.
And it was, I forget the chain of tuxedo shop. But anyway, I had to do this whole commercial. We shot it in upstate New York where I was going out to the prom and mom and dad are, helping me get dressed. And I come down and there's the girl. And that was like a little mini movie. That was pretty cool.
That's like Garrett's life right now.
Right?
And then all my children, that scene, it's so funny that at the end, the last line from that dude is like, what do you have against football? And in real life, you have nothing against football.
I have nothing against football.
You're a big fan.
Yeah. Why is it such a magical game? It really is, right?
I don't know. So Georgia Bulldogs is your college team.
Well, it's
Georgia
magical.
Bulldogs. Yeah.
It's magical because you get so many breaks. You get to keep filling yourself with alcohol, so you're always drunk. So you just go, it's such a great game.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know why I love that game so much, but you had so many breaks.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can
it's
eat
an
more
hour game.
chips, more food,
Exactly.
more drinks. Yeah.
Just nonstop.
Yeah.
That's American sports, man.
Yeah.
And now you're following the Lions.
Following the Lions. Yeah.
Oh, you're a Lions
Matt
fan.
Stafford. Yeah. They got a new coach.
Man, there's a friend of mine who's actually he won a different season of Big Brother, but he's a huge Lions fan, and
Really?
he was like in the beginning of the season, he's like, "This is the year, we're going to the Super Bowl," and then the bottom fell out.
Yeah.
It happens a lot with injuries and who knows, different stuff happens. But
I can't
who were you rooting for in the Super Bowl?
Eagles, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
who was rooting for the Patriots except the Patriots fans? Everybody else hates them.
Mark Wahlberg, he was rooting for the Patriots.
Yeah, that's true.
I was rooting for the Browns.
I was
for
in
you.
the
How'd they-
Texans.
We see how that went.
But it's interesting because
Real football.
the Lions are quarterbacked by Matthew Stafford, who is a Georgia Bulldog
Georgia Bulldog, yeah.
alumni. But you really most recently followed the Lions because Rebecca, your girlfriend, is from Michigan, correct?
She's from the UP.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's committing to a relationship right there. Dude, I've been a Jets fan since I've been like 12 years old, and I'm like, be 55 this summer. I'm still stuck there.
That's funny.
You know, Robbie, a lot of UP people, a lot of Upper Peninsula people actually are Green Bay Packer fans. So it's interesting that
I know she's a rare Lions fan.
Yeah, and she probably
It's a rarity. She's special.
But she chose the right team because Matt Stafford's the quarterback. So
there you go. All right. So of all the things that you've directed, What is your favorite project to direct in the?
I mean, I think well, to bring this back to the Alpha Quadrant and Star Trek, I mean, Star Trek was an awesome way to start directing. You know, I had wanted to direct before we started working on Voyager. I'd been kind of shadowing on different shows that I'd been on. And I think Garrett, you and I were like walking with Rick Berman away from day one of filming. It was literally, I think, day 1 or 2. It was very early.
Are you sure it wasn't just you and Rick, and then he was trying to tag along?
And then Garrett.
I would see more like that.
No, we did everything together, Aron. Garrett and I were like 2 peas in a pod, dude.
That's not true. That's not true, because in season 7, I was sitting there talking to Nikki, and lo and behold, after 7 years of you guys, you know, what's that, your 6th year? Guess who shows up to our set for the first time? Well, your big buddy Garrett. But I did not see you with him. I'm just saying, I did not see you with him.
He was busy.
Why didn't you tell me? I can't believe this. I'm heartbroken. Like,
well, yeah,
wow.
I think he didn't want the competition. Come on, let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Actually, do you remember that first episode you directed of Voyager? It was with
yes. And you were going to go on.
I was supposed to go on the Lisa show. And I was like, can I go to the Lisa show? Because the Lisa show had this weird thing at the end that says, if you've seen anyone on the Lisa show that you're interested in dating, please contact us. And there was this girl that I saw, and I said, she's beautiful. So I contacted them. I go, hey, this is Garrett Wang. I work on Voyager. I'd like to meet that girl, Angela. And then they're like, oh, sure. And I was supposed to go on the show and all this stuff. And Robbie was directing his first episode. So I asked the AD, I asked Robbie, is it cool if I spend like an hour over there? And Robbie's like, hey, dude, this is my first show. I can't have you just hanging out on the Lisa show. I really need you here. So the Lisa show cameras, they came over to our set. They came to my trailer, and they brought the girl to my trailer, and said,
oh yeah, I remember that.
Meet her. Yeah. So
they brought the girl to your trailer.
And
that's where the
only in Hollywood, dude. This is only a Hollywood thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I tried that. No one ever came. I didn't even have a trailer. It was like a bunker. It was a quarter.
Bunker.
Yeah, it was a weird, like, think of like some 50s 1-bed trailer that you see behind an old 40s pickup truck,
I remember. Aron, I remember those trailers. Yeah.
I didn't
those
get
were sexy.
Yeah. They were because I was in them.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
I would do tours just to go by my trailer when I was working. And, it was big. It was huge.
Well, it had that 1970s porn shag carpet allure is what it had.
Yeah. So when people came by, I would just shake it. I'd shake it. and then I'd come out. Oh, got to go to work in my Ferengi makeup. Best tour ever.
Didn't you say that you came out and you said, hey, when the trailer's rocking, don't come a-knocking? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, I did say that often, and signed autographs.
Good.
And did some. No, forget it. Never mind.
So that girl, Robbie, I ended up taking her to our rap party. Remember the joint DS9 and rap party? Were you there, Aron? It was at the House of Blues. Were you at that one?
Yeah, you ignored me. I would try to wave to you. You just kept walking. I'd stand next to you, and you'd look right over me. I'm like,
for Aron. He was looking for
all
me.
the other Voyager actors are friendly.
I was looking for Robbie.
Yeah, he was looking for me.
Apparently.
We did everything together, so.
Yeah. Well, I have to say this. This is really funny because everyone assumes because Paris and Kim, they're always together on the show. So the assumption is at every convention I do, fans always say, oh, so Robbie and you guys must have been so thick as thieves off camera. And I said, no, to be perfectly honest with you, I tried to hang out with McNeill after when we wrapped every day, literally for 3.5 years, I tried to go and have a beer with him. Like, hey, let's go hang out. And he would have to respectfully decline. Like he said, hey, I'm so sorry. I can't make it. I have to get home. I have my kids, my wife. So he had, young children, and he couldn't make it. He said, no, every day for 3.5 years. So I gave up. But at the end of season 4, he turned to me we were wrapping, and he goes, hey, Garrett, this is my McNeill. hey, Garrett,
Nearly.
what do you think about going to grab a beer right now? And I go, me? Now? What? Why? Why now? And he's like, well, my wife and kids are in Palm Springs. So that's kind of why we got to hang out once
in 7 years.
Well, I remember hanging out with you all the time, man. We'd get beers at lunch after our shows would wrap at the same time, and we'd be like, hey, let's go, man. On the way home. So I'm sorry that you didn't get that invite, Garrett,
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we hung out all the time. Everybody went out. Remember when we all went out, Aaron? Everybody. The whole cast of DS9 and everybody. With all the girls from the Lisa Gibbons show. They brought all the girls.
Even Moesha showed up.
Moesha.
You guys remember that show? There was Moesha. There was Homeboys in Outer Space. That's another gem that you
Homeboys in Outer Space. That one I never heard of.
Yeah. Oh my God, they had.
Garrett, did you drop by the Moesha set like on a regular basis?
Sure is. Oh yes.
I know you did. I know you did.
I are like that. Oh. Okay, and so the last clip was from Threshold, which a lot of people ridicule because of the scene with the Lizard Janeway and Lizard Paris.
I love that episode.
But Robbie actually is very proud of that episode.
I had a blast on that episode.
Because it showed really, he finally got a chance to act, because he wasn't just sitting on the helm going, yes, ma'am, let me just punch in these coordinates so we can get over here. It was really him showing a progression of going from human to shape-shifting into this crazy.
For an actor, it was a great story. In fact, probably I used up all my acting on that episode, and that was why. Like,
you were done.
Saved it all up. Bam.
Yeah.
It's like I can't do that again. I was done with all my acting. I did all the acting, basically, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And then you were done. 2001 rolled around. You go, I did it all in Threshold. I'm good.
Exactly. I'm good.
You know what's bizarre though? We were talking about this on our episode last night that we were recording this. We were just talking about Threshold, and we thought it was a later season episode. We thought it was a later in the run of Voyager.
You guys started saying 5 or something. Season 5.
It's season 2. It's a season 2 episode.
Oh, I would have guessed 3. I felt like it was kind of early, middle, but 2.
No, it was.
So this is before you guys got a beer after work.
This is this is before the beer.
Everything is either before
pre or post beer.
Okay, Robbie's notorious for having the worst memory.
I am.
So I'm going to ask you, when we went to get that beer, where did we go in Venice?
We went to Hal's.
Ah, you remembered.
Oh.
I have a question here. It's a little.
I'm
go ahead. Sorry.
that you remembered that we went to Hal's. That's amazing. Okay. Maybe your memory's coming back. Have you been eating your vegetables?
I don't remember. What? Wait. Aaron had an important thing.
Go, Aaron. Go.
Well, it's just an observation I've known with Garrett, and Ed. I think you can back me up on this. He's constantly telling stories of how he feels disconnected from the world and the people around him.
Right.
Like he doesn't have enough friends. Are you feeling that, Ed? I feel that. Robbie didn't want to go get a beer with me, respectfully declined. We were really tight. It took
Avery Brooks brushed him off until he brought his parents to the set.
Exactly. We got the Cisco.
And hold on. I got the Shannon Elizabeth story when he was at a party, and she told me that she blew him out. By the way, I talked to Shannon before she went into the Celebrity Big Brother house, and she's like, I don't know that guy, and I don't watch Star Trek. I don't know what you're talking about.
and Robbie, see, he hated me. He thought I didn't like him, like I was a jerk to him. And he had a lot of angst against me until later, like maybe, 10 years post beer, where he met me at a con and go, he's not such a bad guy.
Right.
And, he let me into his world, even though he didn't remember me at the Voyager DS9, rap party.
Right.
But I think we need to help Garrett, understand that people actually do like him. He's not a bad guy.
Oh, man.
He's a little, feels like, are like giving him the love.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. I appreciate that. You always giving me all these, I don't know what, I don't know how to explain it, but you're on my side, aren't you? Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm always on your side.
We're all on your side, Garrett.
See, even now you feel like we're not on your side.
Oh, okay. Let's go back to Robbie.
I think I just like blows that whole thing. All right, let's go right back.
Go back to Robbie.
Forget about all of this nonsense.
Robbie was so freaking funny. Like like a lot of people watch Voyager and they assume, oh my God, the only funny person is Bob Picardo because he's the doctor and he's so funny. Ha ha. Yeah, Picardo's funny, but McNeill.
Yeah, Picardo's funny.
Yeah, but McNeill is another
You need a
level
shirt
funny.
that says that. Yeah, Picardo's funny.
Yeah, we should get shirts that
McNeill.
say McNeill. ... And I told Robbie, do you remember this, Robbie? I said, Robbie, we should do like a talk show where you're like the host
Yes.
and I produce it. And our production company will be Wang Productions. It will be a leprechaun straddling a pot of, instead of a pot of gold, a pot of fortune cookies is what it would be. So that was going to be the logo for our stationery.
I do remember this. Didn't we do like some kind of talk show in Germany at a convention one time?
Oh yeah.
Didn't we do like we like totally threw it together with
it was
Walt?
for the talent show. They had a talent show, so I did a talk show where I was playing, the different characters on Voyager, and you kind of, you were part of it too.
I can't remember what. Yeah, and wasn't Walter Koenig in it too? And
I think that's the. No, I don't know if he was there, but that was the. Yeah.
I was there too.
Were you there?
I remember. Thanks. Wow. And
Yeah,
Garrett
Aron,
feels
were you
bad that
there?
nobody wants to have a beer with him.
Exactly. Aaron,
Yeah,
are you
no,
okay? We love you, Aaron.
No, I wasn't there. It was just
He wasn't at that one.
That was a joke, people. I was not there. I'm just gaslighting them. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, Germany, that was fun. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot of people don't know how funny McNeill is. He really does have a really excellent sense of humor. So, and that kind of translates to his directing. What?
I get by.
Yeah, but that helps you with your directing because you keep
Makes
it
some
light.
people laugh.
He makes people laugh, and
Here and there, they
Yeah.
chuckle.
I get funny things. I get smiles sometimes.
Sometimes it's Starbucks, it kind of gives me a little laugh, and I feel pretty good for the day.
Well,
Do you know what?
I
I just saw Ethan Phillips in New York.
Yes.
I was in New York.
Yeah.
And he was telling me about this cruise he just did. And
Yeah.
he said he got up and told 200 jokes on like a stand-up night.
He's
He's unbelievable. I was like, how do you remember 200 jokes? Because he's got the cheesiest.
I can't even tell one without screwing up the punchline.
well, he's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
historian. He collects.
He's got the jokes that go da 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 bam, ba da ba da ba da bam. And
Yes.
if you don't stop him, he doesn't stop.
No, it keeps going.
And they're
they
all
don't
on a
even-
boat. They can't leave. There's nowhere where they can go.
No.
So this isn't bragging rights. They couldn't
Right.
leave. It was torture.
Yeah.
Did you go?
Johnny. No, he just told me about it. And Picardo told me that. And who else? It was like, I don't know who else was there. I think Frakes went. A lot of the TNG.
I think Nana was there.
Nana
Armin was
went.
there. Max was there.
It
Yeah,
sounded
I-
like a good time. Renee
I've been
was
trying to
there.
go. This is their second year, but they keep inviting the same actors back year after year, so there's no more room for us. It's
Oh,
kind
well.
of a
Nobody loves you.
It all comes back to
It all
nobody.
comes back to that.
it all comes back to hashtag for Harry. That's what it is.
See, he's funny. That was funny.
You know what? You just need your beer moment with the cruise people, Garrett.
That's what I
Like,
mean.
you just need to finally go out and have a beer with the cruise people.
That's your other shirt. I need my beer moment.
Yes.
That's a great one because it's such a great callback to a wonderful story of the two of you. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
There was one time though, McNeill would use humor to kind of diffuse my, I would
You're
kvetch about.
frustrated.
Yeah, I was frustrated, man. I was frustrated about. I remember.
frustrated often.
I was frustrated about the fact that a lot of college teams or a lot of pro teams were they had Native American mascots. Like for instance,
Yes.
the Braves, with the whole chop thing, and I thought it was very.
They're getting rid of that.
Well, right. Well, but back then in the 90s, that was rampant. Like there's a lot of like, hey, let's use this mascot and let's be offensive to those people. We don't care because, we don't care. And I was really pissed off about that. And then
Yeah, you
I was
were.
telling Robbie about this on set. We were in the conference room set, and McNeill turns to me. He's like, yeah, you know what? Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. All those Yellow Jackets are probably offended. Like he makes fun of the fact that these insects are like flipping out about being used as mascots. And so I went from absolute frustration and anger to just I'm laughing my ass off because just one sentence from Robbie and I'm like laughing.
And now you've got the Indians logo like on your clothing, on the wall.
He's fine with it.
Yeah, he's fine with it. He tells people, "Hey, just remember the Yellow Jackets."
Today. No, when it comes to like Washington, the NFL team, I will call them Washington. I don't call them the Redskins because it's just, come on, man. It's so funny that Redskins fans are like, hey, that's not racist. I'm like, really? How is that not racist?
I agree with you on that, Garrett. I actually agree with you.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Patriots
are
if they change their logo to a Redskin potato, I'll call them Redskins then. But it's not, not with Native American logo on there. That's bull crap, right?
But if they had a different name, what about like the Seminoles? Since that was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Hey, pick the tribe name. Use that. Don't say Redskins. I mean, would you walk up to a Native American person and say, "Hello, Redskin, how are you doing today?" If that's acceptable, then keep the name.
I wonder what the history of because you're right, there are so many Native American referenced, sports teams. Like, I wonder where that, why that?
Well, don't we have a sociological mindset of the past of a warrior mentality, right? Warriors.
Yeah.
When we relate that to sports, we relate our sports figures as warriors, as gladiators. And
menacing.
we look for ways to connect that we as people can relate to on an easy basis. So that's probably,
I guess a lot
bankers,
Yeah, a lot of the teams are literally the Raiders, or Pirates, Pittsburgh Pirates, or
right.
It's all about violence. It's violence.
Yes.
So you guys all support violence.
Yeah, it's an amazing game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know what one of my favorite sports actually is rugby, rugby union, British rugby. Oh, it's amazing. My son, who's 20 now, my youngest kid, he played rugby from the time he played since he was in 5th grade through senior year in high school. He was a high school All-American with the rugby sevens team. It's a beautiful sport.
Nice.
And I wouldn't say better. I wouldn't say better than football, but it's where football comes from is from rugby, and there's a lot of things about rugby.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There was a friend of mine who played rugby, and he came into work. I was running this restaurant, and he comes in and he's all limping, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? He's like, rugby game. I'm like, dude, what the hell? He comes into the office, whips his pants down, and he has a bruise literally from his hip, his entire ass cheek, all the way down to his knee. His whole thing, black and blue. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I tried to play rugby once, but when they mistook me for the ball, I thought this is
right.
Hey! I got 199.
Do the Saru. Better do the Saru after that. Hey, Robbie, have you watched any of Discovery yet?
I've watched, I watched the first of Discovery, 4 or 5 episodes. Yeah, okay. I thought it was great.
What do you like about it?
What do I like about it? It doesn't feel like the old Star Trek. So get that out of the way. It does not feel like, it doesn't feel tonally like, classic Trek but what I do like about it is it takes a lot of the the intellectual foundations and the mythology of the show and sort of deconstructs it in a whole different way. I mean, it's, a story that's not following a captain's journey, that's following a first officer, and a first officer who has been disgraced, who's been, comes in sort of a redemption story, but you're not even sure if it really is a redemption story. I love the fact that they've got gay characters on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Although they killed one of them.
Don't
spoilers.
Jesus, I told you I only saw
season. You gotta catch up already.
You just spoiled it for him.
It's all right. No, I really do like it. I also think it looks beautiful. Like I think it's just executed in a really beautiful way. The sets, the visual effects, the action sequences. Like,
now I have a question for you, as an actor and now a director. When you watch something now like that, and you're watching a new show, do you watch it more from a director's eye, an actor's eye, both, or neither, and you can just separate?
I probably often am looking as a director, to be honest. You know, like
thank you for being honest.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So they had Frank's directing.
I feel so much closer to Aron than Garrett right now.
But then again, who doesn't?
Beer?
Right.
Get on a plate. We'll come out. We'll get a beer.
I can't wait to have a beer with Aron. Anytime, Aron.
Thank you, Robbie.
Both of you are dead to me. You're both. So, are you going to direct the Discovery or not? What's going on?
I don't know. I met with those guys. Possibly. I know Frakes directed one last year.
Yeah.
I know that they're really interested in diversity and women directors on that show. Right. which is a big thing that's happening right now, and you know, I think it's wonderful that a lot of women are given opportunities, and that they're balancing. Like historically, TV directors are like 99% of the directors in television.
Right.
And I think on Voyager, how many female directors did we have?
We had Kim Friedman and Kim Friedman.
We had Kim Friedman and Allison Liddy Brown, who was my friend.
Allison, yes.
Oh. I love Allison.
She did our show, and then she hired me for an episode of The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Yeah. That's where I met Allison over there because I was shadowing on those shows on Alex Mack and Journey of Alan Strange. And
nice.
Yeah, but I think we had two female directors in. How many episodes did we do? 170 or something?
Yeah.
Like that's just pathetic.
That's pathetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbie, I have a question for you. When you go to a meeting, like you said, with the people from Discovery, what is that like when they're hiring a director and they're interviewing more than one? And that's essentially your audition. And as an actor, I have no idea what that's like for you. How does that process work? How do you get the job?
I think a lot of it is very informal. It's, you know, you tell your story a bit of how you got into directing and why you like directing and what you think you kind of tell anecdotes, and you might talk about the show that you're interviewing for. Like I just had an interview for the show called The Tick on Amazon, which is
the show is pretty funny. I watched the first season. It was good.
Yeah, I love it.
Like miniatures?
What's that?
I just said, is it all shot in miniatures? It was a bad joke.
Yeah, it was like
that was $199. Okay, move on.
It was like an insect joke.
They've been trying to get that show off the ground for a long. Didn't they do it once before?
Yeah, Fox did it back in Fox did it in the 90s, and it only lasted like 5 episodes.
Super popular. Oh, we got jokes. We got 198 to go. 198. But that comic book has been like super popular, and they've been trying to get that thing off the ground. And I watched the first, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And I watched the first episode, and it just kind of sucked me in. It's really, really funny show.
It's really good. It's funny. And if you're any kind of a fanboy or a fan person, that there's a lot of self-referential comedy, and, you know, people that are fans of the superhero genre or the comic book genre, or, you know, whatever, Marvel films, or, you know, Trek fans. Like,
if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's
The Tick is really cool. But anyway, the question was like, how do I talk about that show? Well, I'd seen the first season, so I talked about their show and kind of, you know, things I liked, the relationships of the characters, where I thought the comedy worked really well, where I think they could do better on the comedy. You know, I mean, you can't really criticize people's shows. You know, that's not a great way to do it. But, you know, suggesting like, hey,
give me a job.
But saying like, here's some opportunities I think where you'd really want to focus in on making sure protecting for the comedy or making the action better or bigger or keeping that, keeping it elevated. So
that's interesting.
I don't know, you just,
I guess it's not like you say, I see how this is how I would approach this episode. I'd want to do these kinds of things. I'd want to shoot it all handheld. And I'm assuming when you come into shows, you kind of got to fit into how they've established how their shows are shot. Is that correct?
A lot of it is like, if you're coming on to a new show, then they've already got a blueprint and they like their blueprint. And so, I think like my feeling is the interview is a bit of a test to see if I've noticed how that blueprint is built.
Okay.
If I'm producing a show and I'm meeting directors and they can, and it's not like I ask them these questions, but if they can kind of talk in a language that sounds like they understand the blueprint of my show, whatever show I'm producing, then I'm much more interested in hiring them because I'm like, oh, they get it. They get how the relationships are important from this point of view. They get how the visual style is built already,
Wow.
So,
and Garrett might have something he wants to ask about this, so I'll finish with this. I'm really envious of the opportunity that and this is something that I think separates sometimes regulars from recurring guest stars or people that might be there for the whole season. I saw other actors on our show going through that same process. I wanted that so bad. And I even asked, and they go, no, that's okay. Just go back in your bunker, And they basically, and I didn't get that. I said, look, I don't care about the money. I just want to learn. I wanted to follow and learn. And you know who let me do that once or twice was Anson when he did Anson Williams, who directed the episode It's Only a Paper Moon for me, as well as some others. And he let me come on 90210 and hang out. But I didn't know what to do other than watch.
Right.
And that process, I always wonder how TV directors get in that rhythm and how you did, but I don't want to waste the whole time asking you about that. Maybe when I fly out to Atlanta tomorrow
for beers,
stop by your house.
Yeah.
So wait, if the show wants like the same feel and director to director to director, the same look and the same feel, like why don't they stick with one director for all the different episodes? It's not possible.
Well, it's not really possible because to direct one episode, you spend a week and a half or 2 weeks prepping that episode, meaning, you're getting the script in shape, you're kind of reading it and analyzing it and making your plan.
So you're kind of overlapping.
You're overlapping. So while you're prepping, someone else is on the floor shooting. And then when you go to shoot, that director goes to editing because that'll take a week or week and a half.
Okay.
So the whole process to direct one episode takes about 4 weeks, a little over 4 weeks.
Oh, wow.
From the time you start prepping, you're on the clock until you're done cutting your episode. It's about 4.5.
I always wondered that. So.
Well, there you go.
Garrett,
did you ever want to do that, Garrett? Did you ever ask or try to pursue that?
I did, Aaron. I was the last person on Voyager to ask. Robbie was the first, and then after him, it was a mad rush between Roxanne Dawson, Tim Russ, and Bob Picardo. Those three were like, So I said, okay, let those guys go. So I waited till after they had all directed to ask, and I got a big fat no from Berman and from Braga. And after that, anyone who asked on Enterprise, they got a no also. So they shut the door on me, basically.
I wonder why. Yeah, I think they did that on our show after a while as well. I wonder why.
It always comes back around to everybody shooting on
I know.
Ensign
Poor Harry. Hashtag
Poor Harry.
Poor Harry.
I'm still waiting for my beer moment. What was that, Robbie?
Garrett, did you ask about directing post beer?
No. This is what I would like to direct. I would like to direct ED's background.
I told you, we usually do this at night. This is in the daytime. I feel like I'm getting ready to be beamed up or something.
You look like you're in a nightclub.
Coming down.
Or you can stand by the Borg. I mean, is there any way you could put your shades down so it's not like...
Dude, I've got no shades in this room.
Garrett's really concerned about...
We do this at night. I don't have these issues. I don't have these issues.
All right. Everyone, we apologize for the beam There's like four lightsabers that are going right into Edie.
So let's bring it back to Robbie because you know he's got to go soon.
Let's bring it back to Robbie.
Bring it back.
Before he just says, "I'm done."
Bring it.
But you directed Orville. We talked about it last night on the show.
Oh yeah, I directed Orville last year with Seth MacFarlane. That was awesome. Yeah.
Command Performance was the name of the episode, correct?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
What was that?
It was. The title of the episode was Command Performance. Is that what it was called?
It was.
I'm so bad with titles.
Yeah.
The only title that I care about is Threshold. Thank you.
With this memory, it's amazing that you actually get the show done. I'm concerned. You know, when you come back and you say to your lead actor, "Who are you again?" "Oh yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, you're gonna stand right here."
Stand right here. Yeah.
So Robbie, when do they go back into production, Orville?
I think they're going back soon.
Okay.
They're going back very soon. I think in March or April or something. They called me about doing. Yeah.
You're going back, right?
They called me.
They called me about going back to do a couple episodes. So yeah, I just don't have any dates yet. But yeah,
Okay.
Seth is awesome. That whole show was so much fun.
Yeah. Will you holler at me when you find out? Because remember last year I was going to hang out with you when you were filming the last.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I thank you for having me come on down and hang out with you last year. So we should definitely do it again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was
So many
fantastic.
beers. We drank so many beers.
You know, you wouldn't think such a little guy could hold so much.
He didn't even make you wait until season 4.
No. And you know what? When he was sitting in the director's chair in front of the screens to watch what was shooting, he let me sit on his lap. It was awesome. It was the best time I've ever had.
You sat on Robbie's lap?
Wow.
Oh, come on, Garrett. You did that all the time.
You're making me so jealous right now.
You know, that's what I try to do on every episode. Robbie, have you ever used a story of your experience working with Garrett to help an actor through a scene?
Let me think about that.
He will now after this episode.
I will. No, that's a good.
I'll tell you what
love
Robbie would do. Robbie, do you remember that? Robbie would go home and he would read Voyager novels to help his bedtime stories to help his kids go to sleep. But to make his kids laugh, he would imitate my laugh, my real laugh.
Yes, I would.
It's like, hey, this is how Garrett laughs, and he would do this, the laugh.
You know the laugh. Garrett, but Garrett doesn't laugh like this anymore. But he used to laugh on set all the time, and Beltran does it best. But it was something like this.
So now we know why it took 4 years to get a beer with you.
It sounded like a bee, right? It was a bee.
It sounded like a bumblebee.
A bumblebee laugh.
I want to know the noise he made when he would sit down in the onesie, because we were talking about that last night.
What did you
call it? Didn't you call it dangerous?
No, that suit, the one piece. It was fit. It was made to fit perfectly while standing up with those stirrups and everything. But
Yeah,
when we
but then it rode up the taint. It totally rode up
the taint, right up the crotch. Yeah, it was the worst. See, he knows. It was garbage. Edie, now that you've moved your screen over and you're out of the, what is that crazy ass like? What is that?
Terminator.
What? I tried you. Okay, you're complaining about the light, so I moved my camera. This is my motorcycle right here.
Oh, I thought it was like
That's your bike?
a speculum or something.
Are you in the garage?
No, I'm in my back room. I keep it inside.
By the way, Edie, Robbie McNeill is a huge motorbike aficionado. He loves bikes. Look at that.
That's my helmet collection. You see my helmets?
Oh, dude, you got the Easy Rider helmet.
I got an Easy Rider. I got all kinds of old vintage helmets. I'm going to take you outside.
Yeah, let's go see.
Wait, can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay.
Where's Rebecca?
She's in the kitchen, I think.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Going to the
I
bikes.
just want to hear your bumblebee laugh. And apparently, you know, Robbie was really nervous of that. If he took you out, you had a little bit too many drinks, he'd be in the bar with all his friends that know him, and you're going,
Maybe.
something you got to work on. And I think you did. Now you have friends.
Thank
Can
you.
you see my bike?
Well, tilt it down. Yeah. Yes.
What kind of bike is that?
It's a BMW.
Oh, BMW.
Yeah, BMW GS 1200.
Oh, right on.
I've ridden that about 45,000 miles. I got so many miles on that bike.
I say the same thing about my big wheel.
Right?
Yeah. Go ride it around the neighborhood.
All right.
One of my friends, you remember him from Headbangers Ball back in the 90s, Ricky Rackman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good friend. We've been friends for years. And he does these cross-country rides like every single year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it was last year he went to like 45 states or something. He only missed like, Hawaii, Alaska, and like a couple others. But he does it every single year, and he raises money. He finds like one, not like a charity, but like one person. And I don't remember what the name of the girl was last year, but I think he raised like it was $40,000 for her and her treatments and stuff.
There's a buddy of mine that rides once a year across the country, and they raise money, and I forget what the charity, but it's a group of them got together and did the same thing, and they go across the country once a year.
Robbie,
Yo.
that Beamer is not the only bike you've had. You've had your fair share of bikes. You've had a Ducati. You had
I've had every.
A Harley, an Indian. Do you have an Indian also?
No, I'd love to get one of the new Indians. I think
Is that appropriate to call a bike an Indian? I'm just saying.
You know what? You're right. Aron, thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait, there's nothing wrong with Indian. It's not degrading. It's a,
it's
Did
a
they
brand.
change the name to Native American or?
I don't know. Yeah, I think they should.
Start calling Indian motorbikes native bikes, Native American bikes, just for the
It's like I could see like being offended by Redskin. It's derogatory term.
I was being
Or, like,
silly. That was 197.
Japs and Jews and mix and Spicks and this and that. And this kind of stuff. Like the same thing. Like, could you imagine like a sports team named the Spicks or the Mix or
that would be bad.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It is.
Robbie, do you have you had a Softail Harley at one point? No,
I had a Road King.
Road King.
I had a Road King for a long time.
Right.
Yeah, I've had a lot of bikes. I started with I've had almost every kind of bike you can imagine. I have not had an Indian.
Have you had a
I
red
want to get a touring bike next. This one's a hardtail, and man, let me tell you,
That's rough. That can get
my
rough.
ass fucking killing me after like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I got like a small ass, and I'm just like, oh.
I had a Honda Aero scooter once.
Scooters are scary. I wouldn't ride a scooter.
That's because I'm a badass, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Robbie. Thank you.
Robbie,
I
I'm going to test your memory. Rob. For Christmas, season 2 Christmas, I gave you a gift. It was a book. Do you remember what that book was?
Oh my gosh, Garrett, are you
my
serious?
Really, what the fuck is this?
I can't remember anything, Garrett. How am I going to remember a book from 1996?
This was a coffee table book, and it was an encyclopedia of motorcycles throughout time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Garrett, I owe you a beer for that.
See,
Now,
I do.
sit here. Go ahead.
I do remember it, actually. I do remember it. It was a good book. I had it in my my family room for a long time. Yeah.
and where is it now?
That was past tense, Robbie.
Where is it?
I've started over in a lot of ways, Garrett. But if we want to go down that road, we can. It'll go dark really quick. But I don't have a lot of my old possessions.
You got rid of my book?
Gowron approves.
So we've been doing this thing because Robert O'Reilly does Galron with his big eyes. So we say Galron approved by opening our eyes.
So, it appears to me, and Edie, you back me up, since we're the two outsiders here on your relationship, it feels like Garrett was the lonely kid, and you took some sympathy for him to bring him in a little bit, make him feel welcome on the
It took
show.
him 4 seasons to finally, I feel bad for him. Like, all right, you've been asking me 3 years. Let's go out for a beer, all right? It's like, I get this over with. I won't have to deal with this again,
Garrett knows every bike you've ever had. He saw you with Rick Berman. You know, he wanted a beer for 4 years. And he brings it up.
You don't have the note that I sent you that season. No,
Okay.
how did you get rid of the note?
I was like his little brother following him around everywhere. That's the best way to put it.
What I'm saying.
He was only 4 years older than me, which I never believed. I kept thinking he was 8 years older than me, and I kept asking him, like, "You got to show me your ID." I can't.
Yeah, I showed you you made me show my license to you. You
Wow,
did.
Garrett, that's a little brutal.
He remembers that.
Dude, he had a freaking wife and 3 kids. I was like, "There's no way you're only 4 years
Yeah,
older
but
than
you
me."
made him show you his identification.
I did.
He carded
And he
me.
still went out to get a beer with you. He's a saint.
Okay. Can I just go back to the laugh? The Bumblebee laugh is a suppression of my true laugh. Have you ever seen the movie Amadeus with Tom Hulse?
Okay, yes, it was a great movie. I love that movie.
In that
you're not
movie,
Go ahead,
Tom
go ahead.
Hulse has this crazy laugh that goes up high all over the place. It's a cackle, right? That's how I laughed all through junior high, high school, and by the time I got to college and when I was on the show, I tried to repress that laugh. And so instead of going, it was like, that's why this.
Because that was much better.
I think Garrett got tired of getting beat up for laughing like that in school. So he started suppressing it.
Garrett was looking for somebody on Voyager to go, come on, man. Come on. I'll love you.
No, but Robbie was great. Robbie would do all kinds of fun things. Like we had fart wars on the Voyager set. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
the difference apparently from our show to your show was we were thespians. We cared.
you guys
about
were
our craft.
serious.
Yes.
I remember going to your set a number of times, and it was very serious. You guys were super professional, unlike
That's the way
us.
we roll.
Garrett, I'm trying to find that picture that Mitch Smelkinson sent me of
no, you do not. No,
I am finding it. That's why I'm looking down.
No,
Oh, that's great. Please share it.
don't
please
show
share
that.
That's what I'm gonna do. I really gonna.
I should have done more episodes on your show because
Okay,
1990.
Can I just say? I just want to
Is
say
that post beer or pre beer?
that's in college. That was my college days. Okay, McNeill did. I got this piece of fan mail, and just to set this up, my parents were in the. Stop it! No, don't! Come on!
Wait,
I
we
shattered.
can't see it yet until Garrett stops talking.
Oh God! All right, so that's my shattered tooth.
No, I can't see it yet.
Huh?
No, yeah, but you think yours won't come up until Garrett stops talking.
Oh, mine. I gotta talk. Is that how it works?
Oh,
Right, I'm
yeah,
talking.
exactly.
Can you see it?
That's great. Oh, you're so handsome, Garrett.
Look at it.
So anyway, I shattered my tooth skiing. But Robbie, I was getting this piece of fan mail. My parents happened to be in my trailer that day, and they were going. My mom was like, "You got to go through this fan mail. You're letting it pile up." So she was going through each one, trying to file them away and answer them. And finally, I was like, "Mom, stop! That's enough!" And she stopped, and the mail that she was about to open up, she goes, "You better start looking at them. Your dad and I are leaving, but you better go through them." So as she left, I opened up the one she was about to open up, and the mail said, it started out pretty normal. It was a guy. He was like, "Hey, I love your show. I love your character, and I loved you in this episode. And I have a few questions for you. First of all, question number 1. How long and wide is your dick?" Like, it just went through all this crazy stuff, right? And then it says, I've included a photo of you that I. What?
Your mom missed that opportunity to
She
really
missed that-
experience fandom.
So then the next thing he asked all these sexual questions, and the last thing is I've included a photo that I found of you online that I've downloaded, and I'm sending this to you so you can autograph it. So I look at it, and it's a photo of a bodybuilder, and he's squatted down with he's huge, and he's got the schlong that's touching the ground, and he's got my face photoshopped on it. And so I go, "Oh my God!" So I take it on the set to show McNeill, and he's like, "Oh man!" He yanks it out of my hand and shows the whole crew. He's like, "Look at Garrett!" So that's his thing.
And then Janeway's response,
I got
Gru's
one more.
response.
I got one more. Look at that. Look at that.
February 3rd,
Oh my
1990.
God.
putting on, that's before I shattered my teeth. Look at my slick Duran hair going on right
Yeah, you're Duran.
Wow.
You're welcome. You're welcome,
Now
Garrett.
I understand why it took 4 years. I get it. It all
Such a sucker. Oh, my God. You know, Robbie, you've given so much ammunition to Aron Eisenberg now. He's going to use this crap for like decades.
Yeah, you got to send me those photos just
Never-
so at any given time I can go like that with the photo.
Good God. Oh. Edie, Aron, do we have more questions for Robbie?
Well, I love the stories between the two of you. It's really neat, and I'm sure the fans love it. I guess one question, and this is always a tough one, because people always ask you, as you started off, what's your favorite, what's your least favorite? But in working together, you talked about how in Threshold you finally got a time to really explore the character more, do more on the show than what you normally get to do as just the, at the top and following directions. Was there something between the two of you that really brought you guys even closer together as the friends you became and were on the show that you look back on and go, that was really awesome experience between the two of you to share in an episode that you worked? I know, I had the good fortune to work on your show, and I loved working with Beltran. I had a great time.
Yeah.
And I felt we really worked well together and became friends, all the way through. See him, and we all went out to dinner in Vegas, me, him and Garrett and some of my friends. So that was really great for me. It was a wonderful experience. So, and you guys are very close. So I was just curious, was there something between the two of you that you really had a great time to kind of work together on rather than just the show per se?
I think there was one episode we did, if I'm understanding your question, like, was there an episode of work where the work and working together sort of elevated all of it? I think, what was that episode that Les Landau directed, Prison Camp?
It was called The Shoot, season 3, first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good episode, and it was kind of a role reversal for Paris and Kim, and Garrett sort of became the hero, and Harry Kim became the hero, and he had to step up and kind of be the hero there and protect his friend, and Paris was sort of put in a weaker position, and whatever. It was an interesting kind of role reversal, and it was at a time in the series where I think it was ready to step up in a big way and kind of, evolve his character, and they gave him an opportunity. And I think Les directed a beautiful episode. It was really well done. So I don't know. I thought that was one where I think the relationship got more interesting and more complex and more, a lot deeper. And I think Garrett's work was great on the show. And it was all good. Yeah, that was
cool. That's neat.
Yeah, that episode was truly, up until then, Paris was really always looking out for Harry, right? He always took Harry under his wing. Like the very first scene of Voyager is
real life.
Like real life. The very first scene of Voyager is in Uncle Cork's bar, where he's trying to sell me these Caladian, gemstones or whatever. And
my uncle, you don't call him Uncle Cork's bar. It's just Cork's bar.
I said, your Uncle Cork. So I was really, kind of being bamboozled by Cork. But then Paris saves the day. And that became sort of the, the blueprint of our relationship for the first couple of seasons. But season 3, in the beginning, in the shoot, we get trapped in an alien prison ship. And we're just getting harassed by all the other prisoners. And Paris gets stabbed. So he gets shivved in the stomach. And so he's bleeding out. And I have to kind of protect him, right? And so it really was the one chance for Kim to sort of shine and kind of take on the protector role that Paris had been doing for him forever. But the funniest part of filming that was, so the very end scene, Paris is on the floor, almost unconscious, and he's bleeding, and I'm standing up in front of him, trying to wave off these other aliens with this little lead pipe that I have. I'm like, back off, get away from him. And as we're filming that,
I felt that, Garrett.
Okay, man. As we're filming that, I accidentally step on Robbie. Like I back up and I step on either his hand or his head, or I literally step on him.
Head.
I can't.
It was an H. It was an H word.
It's an H word. His heinous. I stepped on his heinous, and then as that happened, I hear him go, "Ow!" oh, like that. He groans, right? And the director yells, cut. And then I hear McNeill on the floor going, I hate not being the hero. Like that. It's just like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to step on you. But that was definitely a life or series-changing moment, for instance.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
And that was pre-beer, because you said third season.
That's right.
So,
It was pre-beer. We hadn't had the
what I
beer yet.
gather from that is, I think Robbie went, he's not so bad. He actually can actually carry a show. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go out.
Maybe I'll have a beer with him. Yeah.
Well, my first time meeting him, he saw me with my long hair. I had long hippie hair when I met him on the set before we even.
You look good with long hair too, I must say. Some of your pictures I saw, and you look good, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. But Robbie looked at me like I was some hippie. I remember that. And when I saw him, I was flabbergasted because one of my favorite cheesy movies of all times is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren in it. And Robbie is the lead in that. He's the main the character other than Dolph Lundgren, along with Courtney Cox as his
Man-at-Arms? Were you Man-at-Arms?
No, he was the
No, I was the human. I was the he was the
yeah, he was the
Yeah,
hero.
I was Gwildor.
Yeah.
So me and Courtney Cox were like the teenager, the sweet teenage couple in love who stumble onto the battle of of the Masters of the Universe characters and kind of get swept up in it. And
my experience with go ahead. My experience with Courtney was I was singing a song on stage and I was doing a music video, and she comes up on stage and starts dancing with me. A lot of people think it's Bruce Springsteen. I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's actually me.
So when I saw him, I freaked out because I love that movie, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it. Do you know what this is, McNeill? This is actually the character of Saru, played by Doug Jones on Discovery. When human beings walk, they walk with their hands kind of swing forward. When Saru walks, they swing behind him and to side. So it almost looks very,
It's really cool. It's a really good characterization, a really good idiosyncratic behavior that I think he established for his character.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But now we call it do the Saru, like how he dances,
Saru.
his arms just kind of going back.
Right.
Nice.
That's it.
It kind of looks like what Vegas showgirls do when they walk around.
Oh, I have to make a living. I have to make a living outside of this show, so. I usually have the morning shift.
We were just talking about which pole you were working yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of a callback. It's kind of a callback to last night.
Yeah, I think it's too much having two shows back to back. Hey, you have to watch the other one first in order to know what we're talking about in this one here.
I thought I was in a mirror universe. I wasn't sure.
But do you recall me fanboying over you that first day?
I do a little bit, yeah. I do.
Because I was like, oh my God. You were the
That's why I didn't go out for a beer with you.
Garrett, when we go to Colorado Springs this weekend, someone's going to say, come on, Garrett, I'll go get a beer with you.
We all need our beer moment. You're killing me. Oh my God. Oh, holy crap. Oh,
Speaking of beer moments, I have to pee.
Do you?
Yeah, I actually
take the
do.
camera with you. We don't. We can. Yeah.
No.
Do you want to wrap it up right now? Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Is it me? Is it me, or will we get a beer?
He'll get a beer with you.
Here, I'm going to take you guys in the bathroom with me.
Oh, cool.
No,
That's
I'm
exciting.
No, look what I'm doing. I'm drinking. See this thing right here?
Why would you drink that?
That's my water. I got to drink 2 of those a day, so I got to pee like every second because it's good for you.
Okay.
Isn't water good for you?
It is. And it's good that you're staying
can also
hydrated.
drink too much water, just saying.
Yeah, like the what was that defensive tackle for the was it the Minnesota Vikings that died from Corey Stringer from drinking too much water?
Yeah, too much water.
Really?
Yeah, it happened.
And if your urine is straw color, you drank too much.
Yeah.
Really? What should it be? What should it be?
What color should it be, Aaron?
Well, I'm just computer. It's not like I'm. I just know
Computer?
straw. You've drank too much. If it's
good
too
to
yellow,
know.
you're dehydrated. So find a middle ground.
Yeah.
Find a middle ground. All right.
I feel bad we didn't ask computer anything.
Okay, computer, what was Robbie Duncan McNeill's most highly rated episode?
That did or did not feature you.
We all know Initiations was the best of all the seasons, but let's go ahead and remove me out of this equation.
That would have to be Scorpion if you're.
Scorpion.
Oh,
There you go.
All right. We'll go
Scorpion.
with that.
I was supposed to star in that one, but I was busy.
Hey, all right. So I just want to say thank you to Robbie. Thank you so much, Robbie Duncan McNeill, for being our guest on this episode.
absolutely.
Of Quadrant. You were a blast to have here.
That was so nice meeting you.
Garrett, I want to
Yes.
Garrett, I want to thank you for bringing me closer to Aron and seeing and helping to build this friendship that's now pretty meaningful to me. And I don't really know you well, Garrett, but I just want to thank you and say how much I appreciate it. So
You're welcome.
Aron, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, Aron.
I can't either. And we all realize that Picardo's a funny guy, but that Robert Duncan is really funny.
I'll tell you, if I hear that you guys go out for a beer, I'm gonna be devastated.
Have
Robbie,
a beer
Robbie,
together.
you have to go and just take a photo and just.
I think somebody needs to get a Photoshop the Robbie and Aaron's heads on some big stuff, naked guys with their dicks hanging on the ground.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's
All
great.
right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You know this is going to be showing up on Twitter. I heard you got rid of Twitter, Robbie.
I did get rid of Twitter. I don't do any social media. I have Facebook for like my friends and family, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Castle.
Yeah,
Castle.
there was people very sad online. They're like, "Oh, I miss Robbie online."
Did you accept Garrett's friendship yet on Facebook?
No, I don't feel like I know him well enough. It's got to be for good friends. Well, you know what? We'll private message about it, Aaron.
You
Okay.
got it, man. You got
Okay.
it. Let me know. I
All
didn't
right,
want
what
to
do you
say
guys-
that. I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to feel
Aaron.
worse, but all right.
Aaron, can you just let me do the freaking close right now, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta pee.
All right, he's got to be. Okay, so once again, thank you to my co-host, Aron Eisenberg, our producer, EvelDick, and our most esteemed guest, Mr. Robbie Duncan McNeill, who would need to go pee right now. So thank you, sir. All right, guys.
All
And
right, Robbie,
remember,
thanks so much, man.
everything begins with nog and ends with nog. Do the saru.
All right, and we're